That's a really good question.
See why I tell you guys, stay tuned for the next episode.
Choosing to never stop. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Uncut, live from our studio in Dubai. The audio and visual podcast show that gives you exclusive scoop on our guests and hot topics including some of your favorite celebrities. And now, let the fun begin. Here's your host, S1.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I hope you're all having an amazing day today. I'm super excited to see today's guest on the show. She's on Broadway, on TV, singing, coaching, acting, writing, you name it, she's doing it. She's an exceptional, talented young woman, Grammy-nominated Broadway performer. Please help me welcome Syndee Winters. How are you?
Hey, S1, how's it going?
I'm
hey, everybody.
Good. How's life? How's the weather out there? Because here it's hot.
I'm reporting live from Miami, Florida, so it's pretty warm. It's hot, even.
Right.
But today is pretty cloudy, but hopefully it'll straighten itself out. You know, Florida weather, it's like
I know,
here
Miami's
it's sunny
always...
1 second, raining another second.
Exactly.
So I've been in shelter in place in Miami, Florida since March. I was in New York doing a Broadway workshop. Right. For those of you who don't understand what a Broadway workshop is, it's right before a show goes, to Broadway, and it goes into development. So we call those developmental phases like labs and workshops. So I was working on a project, and we were maybe day 4 into the process, and that was the day that the entire Broadway community shut down and closed their doors. And I immediately got on a plane and flew to be with my parents down here in Florida, in Miami.
I'm so happy to hear that at least you were with family. A lot of my friends ended up staying alone at home, and it was just 10 times harder.
Yeah, I had the option, and I said, I'm going to exercise my option. I'm out of here. And I'm glad I did. Now, where we are right now with Florida and their numbers, it's higher than we like it to be, but I'm doing everything that I can, and my family is doing everything that they can, so we can stay safe. We can only take care of each other.
So, you're from Chinese, Jamaican, Cuban, American descent. It's such a mixture. Like this is what this looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is one version of this blend. How's it growing up with so many different cultures? Like I don't know how many you actually had to like practice, or what was the strongest, but I'm sure that's different, right?
Right. So there's a blend of all of it. So my father is Chinese Jamaican, my mother is Cuban Jamaican, and my stepmother is Panamanian, and I have American family members in my family as well. My godmother is Irish, French, and German. And so everyone has and we all express ourselves in our cultures through food, right? Right. So their way of cooking is different than my parents' way of cooking. And in my house, I didn't really pay attention to whether this was going to be a Jamaican dish or a Cuban dish or a Panamanian cuisine. It was just more like, you made it, I'm gonna eat it.
What's your favorite food, though?
Since they were Jamaicans making it and Panamanians making it, I just assumed that's kind of food. If my mom was making lasagna, I'm like, this is Panamanian. I don't know.
I love that. So it would be hard for you to choose a favorite out of them because they're probably so mixed, right?
I mean, I'll say that Jamaican food is definitely the best
right?
Ever. I mean, I'm not. Now, if we're talking about favorites,
I had some amazing Jamaican food in LA. Actually, Sean Kingston's mom, I don't know if you know Mama Kingston, she did some amazing Jamaican food, and like she's always on a roll at home and cooking. And I love the food as homemade food, can't get any better.
Yes. I mean, you have, jerk chicken, curry goat, oxtails. And then in the Chinese Jamaican dishes is sui men. It's like a mix of Chinese influence and a Jamaican influence. That's an actual Chinese Jamaican dish.
Oh, wow.
Created in Jamaica by Chinese sui men. And there's the Rastafarians in Jamaica that have created the Ito way of eating. So it's things of the earth. So mostly vegan, all vegan, I believe, diet. So I follow that more closely. I've had my fair share, and I love a patty. What? If you have not had a Jamaican patty, you have not fulfilled your destiny in life. It is the better version of a hamburger because it's enclosed.
Right. And there's surprises inside.
So flaky and surprises inside. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's savory, and sometimes it's sweet.
It's sweet too. Oh, you're making me hungry right now, guys. This is not good. Where did the love for performing come from? Because you're just so passionate, and where did that come from?
Oh, my love for performing, I think when I was about 3 years old, my dad said that I could sing before I could speak. So I thought that was interesting. He said, you would sing, Prince's song, Time. I'm like,
oh.
But when I was 3 and when I began to have like memory,
right.
I remember seeing Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller on the television. And I was like terrified and also mesmerized by what was happening. Like these zombies are dancing and singing.
Right.
And then as time went on, I just wanted to do anything Michael Jackson did. So I didn't know it was called singing or dancing or acting or performing. It was like whatever happening, whatever he's doing, I want to do.
I want to be doing.
And so I really want to be doing that. Actually, last night, I don't know, I went down this like Michael Jackson like rabbit hole of YouTube videos and interviews and just remembering what he was able to create during the time where we weren't as technologically savvy as we are now.
Right.
And his like world tours and the massive people. I kind of got a little emotional because it's like in this climate of where we are now, will we ever get back to packed stadiums?
Oh man. I'm honestly like, first of all, in terms of Michael Jackson, that's why he's a legend, right? Because he's been able to do things and envision things that people at its time didn't even think of or wouldn't even, consider doing. And in terms of the arenas, I just had someone else also on the show a few episodes ago. We had the same argument because it's not the same, There's so many videos now, live IG lives that are going on and people performing online, and there's venues that have a capacity of 6,000 people, but they're only allowed to host 800, Is it ever going to be the same? I have no idea. Honestly, I think it might when a vaccine comes out. I think people are not going to let that culture just fade away, because all of us love a good concert or a nice Broadway show, like who doesn't want to go see that live? So I think hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to fade away.
Thank you. I hope so too. I hope in my heart that we'll find a new way also to continue to express the art form.
Right.
For sure.
And what would you do personally if it did fade away?
Firstly, cry. So, I have to mourn it.
Yeah.
And secondly, pivot. I mean, I find that I've been finding that this year has been the word of the year, kids, is pivot.
Right.
You know, there was something that you had every intention on setting your goal toward. You're like, 2020 is about to be lit.
Yeah.
It's about to be my year. Skirt. And you're like, wait. Pivot, redirect.
100%.
So I've
Reality
taken
came in.
Yeah, and so I had performances booked until the end of the year through 2021.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
everything has stopped. Everything has completely stopped. And we don't know when it's going to be coming back. So I've decided that, all right, now's a great time for me to pivot and focus on my YouTube channel. I'm an arts educator.
Oh,
I'm a
nice.
teaching artist. I love working with young artists. I've had students in Dubai. I've had a student in Russia.
Oh, wow.
I was just on the phone talking with a potential student in Russia, Mexico, Canada, all over the country and all over the world. And I teach vocal lessons and performing arts and acting
Nice.
all through our technology of Zoom. And then I also have my YouTube channel.
And that's something you started new, right? Or is that something you always did online?
Well, in person, I've been doing it in person for many years. So for the last 10 years, I've been teaching. Actually, my first job was a junior camp counselor at my dad's soccer camp.
Oh.
My dad's a soccer coach. So
awesome.
teaching teaching's an art form is kind of in my blood. I've been working with young people when I was the same age, you know? And so now with the technology and I'm able to control my own content, and I have a YouTube channel that offers tips and advice and help for young performers who love to sing, who love to act and perform. And I've found S1 that like all these other artists that have been afraid, who have had challenges with stage fright or stage presence, have an outlet. Like they have access to working with somebody like me and being in the comfort of their own home.
I mean, the thing is, I would personally love to work with someone like you just because of your experience. And honestly, look at your energy. You know, your energy is just, I'm feeling it right through this computer, you know? And it's amazing. I think I wouldn't understand why someone wouldn't want to go with your way. And that's why you're here, because we want to show people how amazing you are. Let's go back to where you're born. You were born in New York, raised in Miami. You also received a bachelor's in fine arts in New York. How did you actually start going into Broadway?
That's a really good question. The answer is I have no idea. So it
I love
kind
the
of
honesty.
happened.
She's like, no idea.
So I have no idea. So I've always loved performing, right? And I was obsessed with the Lion King film. Animated film, and that came out in 1994, and the music was just so vibrant, and the film was so vibrant and impactful for me, and I was just always obsessed with the concept, the show, the movie, the whole thing, right? And then I've always loved singing, so anytime I listened to the radio, I was constantly surrounded by music. My father was the coach and mentor of the Marley brothers.
Oh, wow.
So in Jamaica. And so when I was a kid, going into high school here in Miami, after school, I would race to the studio and sit in on recording sessions with Stephen Marley and Damian Marley. And then they would go to rehearse for their tour.
That's
and I would be there until 1, 2 in the morning watching them rehearse, and then have to get up and go to school the next day. And so I was getting all of this information at every angle. And then I was in school doing after school activities. But then when I found that The Lion King had a show on Broadway, I thought, this is awesome. My best friend introduced me to the concept of Broadway. My parents are immigrants. We don't do Broadway.
Right.
So what is that? So the concept was introduced to me, and I thought, okay, great. And then I heard the soundtrack of The Lion King on Broadway, and I heard a song called Shadowland, sung by Nala, the character, Heather, who's played by Heather Headley. So I turned this bought this album with my own money. And Shadowland came on, and I immediately just got chill bumps all over my body. And I said, this is me.
My God.
This is where I see myself. I don't know about Thoroughly Modern Millie. I don't know about Anything Goes. I don't know about Kiss Me Kate. Like, those are other Broadway shows that I don't know about. Like, I don't know about I Want to Be There. I don't know about all that. But what I do know is that this song is me. And I want to sing this song. I don't care where I sing it.
Right.
School,
but are
church,
you telling me
court, I don't care.
You knew that you wanted to be Nala?
I saw myself singing the song so passionately, so fiercely. I didn't know that it would happen. I just felt where I was and how I felt, where I belonged in this make-believe world in my mind. And I created a vision board.
I
created a vision board and started putting images of the things that I wanted. I moved to New York, and I moved out of Miami. And what took me out of Miami was I auditioned for the Knick City Dancers in the NBA, and I danced for the NBA team for the Knicks for a year. And through them, I got an agent, and the agent sent me on one of my first auditions as a singer to The Lion King.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for The Lion King. I was still in college. I auditioned for The Lion King. And I was waiting on a callback. I waited for about 3 years and figured maybe they had found somebody. So I moved on.
You would move on, right? Someone would assume.
After 3 years of not hearing a callback, you'd go, okay, I think they found somebody. So I moved on. I was a wedding singer. I sang at weddings, at bar mitzvahs, at special events, corporate events, and I learned so much as a singer. And then a couple years later, the Lion King called back and said that they wanted to see me again for Nala. And I thought they were joking, and they were not joking.
and you became Nala.
Yeah, and I became Nala, and it's wild.
God. No,
that character owes me nothing. I'm so grateful to her.
That is incredible. That's such a inspiring story, because it just shows you never give up. 3 years waiting for a callback. That's something for itself, you know. That's unbeatable. Well, it was worth the wait. Can we agree on that?
Yes, absolutely. I've gotten to travel all over the country, all over the world. I've seen myself in newspapers in Brazil. It's incredible.
You toured internationally for 3 years.
So I toured the North American tour of The Lion King for 3 years straight. I lived on the road for 3 years. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I got to see a lot of America. It is not New York. So I got to see a lot of cows, a lot of sheep, and I met some amazing people along the way.
How was that experience? How was 3 years on the road?
Oh, man. Thank you for asking. 3 years on the road. So I decided that I was going to drive the entire tour.
Wow.
That way, when I got to cities, I would have a car and I could just, explore. And because the show had already been running for about 8 years on the road, we were a traveling village.
Right.
We were 115 members of this traveling village between cast and crew.
Wow.
And we all had cars, we had families. We spent at least 3 weeks to about a month in each city. So we got to spend some time, and we did everything together. We were so interdependent. And I was able to forge some of the greatest friendships I've ever had in my entire life, and people who I call family. I would do anything for them. And that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
I started the Lion King tour in 2010, and toured for the 3 years. I took a break, made my Broadway debut in 2012, and then finished the tour in 2013 and came back to New York.
I see a little something in the background over there. Has a lot of signatures on it. And yeah. Is that from the tour?
So so this is actually pretty awesome. I had signed on for another year. I had just finished my first year, my first contract, and they had released the new tour dates for the following year. And I was like, oh, I've done The Lion King. I did it for a year. I'm good. I'm going home. But then they had put up that they were going to Miami. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go to Miami. I'll sign on for another year. Because when The Lion King came to South Florida back in 2005, I could not afford a ticket to go see nobody's Lion King, okay?
Right.
Those tickets were not cheap.
I'm going to be in it.
I said, you know what? I'm going back home. I'm going to go perform for my family.
Oh,
and
that's so sweet.
It was like a moment to be able to share. But let me tell you the story real quick.
Yeah.
So my parents are set to come to the show at the Adrian Arch Center in Miami, Florida to see me as Nala.
Okay.
I was supposed to be there for a month.
Right.
I get a call 2 weeks before I'm going to Miami, and Disney asks me to cut my time short in Miami so I can make my Broadway debut.
Oh.
So I only had 2 weeks to be in Miami. So my friends are like, okay, I'll change my ticket. I'm going to try to come and see you early, blah, 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 blah. My parents make a date and they bring 30 kids. My father brings 30 kids, 30 players from his soccer academy.
Everyone came.
Okay. Everyone came. And I'm so like pumped. I'm like, yes, this is a moment. And I getting ready to go make my entrance because Nala she makes her first entrance as adult Nala at the top of the second act.
Okay.
And so I'm notoriously like just making my cue by like a hair. So I'm sprinting down the hallway like, I'm gonna make my cue. And I see this flashing light like happening as I'm walking down the hallway. And I'm like, what's that? It looks like a fire alarm. So as soon as I get to the steps, I see the curtain coming down.
Oh my God.
On the stage. And I'm like, what is happening? And then a voice now that light is like flashing throughout the entire theater. And it's raining outside. So I was like, okay, fine. It's rain. It's Miami.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's happening? I hear our stage manager get on the loudspeaker and say, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, in the lobby of the Adrian Arch Center, a pipe has burst and is flooding the lobby. We have to evacuate the building.
Oh my God. What are the chances, right? Nala, what are the chances? You're like, my whole family is here. 30 people in the audience.
30 people. Oh. And then they weren't able to see me again because literally the next week we're sold out. And the show's completely sold out. And then the next week I go to New York and I go to Broadway.
That's crazy.
What
are the chances?
So
that pipe couldn't burst the day after?
You know what I'm saying? Come on. So I got this. This is a playbill from the show playing at the Adrian Arch Center. And because I was in The Lion King, I was able to buy a house. Oh. And I bought this house that I'm reporting to you live from in 2012. And I had a housewarming party and all of my castmates came and they signed this thing.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. No, I love it. I honestly love the whole thing. I love the whole story. I love your energy. It's just so cool. This is amazing. See why I tell you guys, stay tuned for the next episode because we have so many cool people come on the show. All right, let me ask you this. Was Broadway everything you imagined it to be? Because, you hear so many stories about Broadway. A lot of them are positive. A lot of them are negative. So here's my question. Is it everything you imagined it to be?
Is Broadway everything I imagined it to be? I will tell you this. Broadway is hard work. I always equate Broadway, if we're talking sports in comparison to sports, Broadway is the NFL of the sports
Wow.
teams. We get hit the hardest, we do the most work, and we get paid the least
Right.
of all of it, like film, television, all of
Everything.
that. Broadway gets paid the least, just because we're limited by capacity. We're limited by the 10
Right.
blocks that is in New York. You're limited. And so what I like, and I wish that we could expand on, is just continuing to make Broadway more accessible,
Right.
all over the country, and allowing actors who are stage performers be able to kind of still pay their bills and stuff like that.
Right.
But it is the pinnacle of performance.
Right.
You cannot, if yes, you can go into film and television, and that's wonderful, but Broadway or theater and stage is where you sharpen your tools.
I mean,
It really starts on the stage.
You have no room for mistakes, right?
Oh, a lot of mistakes happen. I'll tell you that right now.
A lot, right?
But but that's where you learn flexibility. That's where you learn durability. That's where you learn endurance. That's where you learn how to
Right.
sustain. It's because it is live. You have to be in a particular mind frame. With film, you could just say cut. All right, start again. With
Right.
Broadway, you're going. You're on the train. When I was in Hamilton, that train didn't stop for anybody,
Didn't.
including Hamilton.
Oh my God.
There were moments where, there's thousands and thousands of words that are being said, and you're, as an audience member, you're like, I'm trying to catch everything. But
Yeah.
as the actor on stage, you have to be so focused and knowing what your story is and what your lines are, because there's so many things happening around you.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners here have seen Hamilton or have seen Hamilton on Disney Plus, I was the principal standby of all of the Schuyler sisters. So I played Peggy, Angelica, and Eliza, and I
Right.
knew all three of those roles. And it was my
Wow.
job to step in and whenever those women were absent. And so imagine having to be Eliza in the matinee and then Angelica in the evening, and have to switch,
Oh
change your
my.
dress and like switch your mind. You are on the spot all the time. But I thrive on that kind of stuff. I'm a freestyle rap artist. And so
Nice.
I'm a member of the Freestyle Love Supreme, Lin-Manuel Miranda's founding rap troupe.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm one of the adopted fringe members, and so that idea of freestyle, I live by it. I live on it.
You enjoy that.
It thrills me. Yeah,
You feed off that.
I have a little.
Oh my God.
doll here. This is I call it a pop thingy.
Yeah,
made
I know.
by one of our fans, Amber Kempter, and this is me as Angelica.
Oh, yeah, that's actually cute. What was one of the biggest surprises you were hit with in general in Broadway?
Surprises?
Something you weren't aware of before, getting into the game.
There's so many things. I talk about this kind of stuff on my YouTube channel because I wish that I had known all of these things before going in there. So a lot of the things that are cryptic and we don't understand fully is union. Like, how do we get into the union? Like,
Right.
do you need, how do you audition for something? You have a dream to audition for a show, but in order to audition for the show, you need to be in the union, back and forth.
Right.
The truth is, I auditioned for The Lion King, and I was non-union, and The Lion King was a union production, and so with eventually a certain amount of hours, I was eligible to join the union, and then thus, I got my union card, and I was able to audition for other union shows. Another thing, how to take care of your body and how to take care of yourself. Yes, you learn the training of dance and you learn training in singing, but we don't always learn self-care and building a relationship with your body and yourself. We do 8 shows a week. Hamilton, I felt like I was definitely doing 40 hours,
Oh, wow.
wherever, because of rehearsal and the show and any press that we were doing. And, we were pulling full-time hours, and learning how to kind of get your psychology around what that is and what that's like, and how to take care of yourself during that time, and sacrifice, and you're not seeing your family on certain holidays because you're working on those
Right.
holidays, saving your money, stuff like that. So that's what my YouTube channel is about, is helping young artists navigate, even if they don't
Through
end
that.
up going to Broadway.
But just
It's
understanding
really
it.
important for them to understand,
Yeah.
even if they want to be a theater actor or an actor in general. These are the things that you can do to help yourself.
So as far as I'm aware, you are back on Broadway as Nala in Disney's Lion King. Is that right?
I was, yes. In 2019, I went back for a stint, to play Nala on Broadway.
On Broadway. Do you think if it was to come back, you would continue again?
So I wrapped with The Lion King in 2019. So
Okay.
I will be working. I was working on a separate project at that time. So hopefully that project comes back.
Okay.
Yes, but I'll say, being during that time was to be able to revisit that character after a few years of us going in separate directions and living life, and I was experiencing a different lifestyle, and growing as an artist and as a person. Stepping back into that cat suit to me was just like brand new,
Right?
and learning how to perform that movement, and also share the message of what Nala's story is, and what part she plays in the show. It was really transformational. It was also the same time that Disney released the reboot of The
Oh,
Lion King,
so that was a
and
perfect timing.
it was amazing. I actually got to meet Queen Beyonce Knowles
I know. I
Carter.
was just gonna get to that.
So
How was that experience? Because you got to meet Beyonce, and while preparing, right, for the Lion King, I think you're preparing for. It was. How was that experience?
well, I'll say, I've been in The Lion King for, been in the Disney on Broadway family for the last 10 years. And so returning was a treat. I love, like I said, they've become a part of my family, and we've forged some really great, beautiful relationships in the cast.
Right.
And then when I got the call to and be asked to return as Nala, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, this is awesome. The movie's coming out. Maybe this will finally be my chance to maybe meet Miss Beyonce. And I was like, you know
Right.
what? Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry
Don't
about it.
think about it too much.
So don't think about it too much. Like, you know your gig, like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then through a friend, actually, he reached out to me, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, actually, I am going back to The Lion King. He's like, oh my gosh. So my friend Trell Thomas works and is in has a close relationship with the Waco Theater, which is run by Mr. Richard and Tina Lawson. And also Miss Tina Lawson, also known as the mother of Beyonce.
Right.
And they have a gala every year. And at this amazing gala, they have all these amazing performances, and the theme that year was The Lion King. And so he said, Syndee, would you be interested in performing at the gala? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I connected Disney with the Waco Theater, and they flew us out to California, and we performed Shadowland, which is Nala's song.
Oh.
I get chills when I think about it, because it's like
That's
Nala's
your
song
that's your
that's
thing,
my
right?
girl. Yeah. And we opened the program, and it was 1,600 of the most beautiful Black Hollywood, Black influential people
Wow.
that, and it was a big moment for me as an artist, me as a Black woman, and getting to meet Mrs. Knowles Carter was wonderful because I got to kind of share with her what it means to be a part of the lioness pride in The Lion King, and that we are so very grateful that she is a Nala and a lioness. It means more than just a character's name in a show.
Of course, there's so much more, and you lived through that. You got the ultimate experience, I would say, with that. And then meeting Beyonce, and just the whole thing is just must feel amazing, right?
I feel very fortunate and very blessed for sure.
You then went also you were on Motown the musical.
Yes.
How was you how do you manage them? Because I see them, they're super close to time, right? Like in time wise. This was in 2018. You also did Hamilton, Pippin, Jesus Christ Superstar, so many different ones, right? And they're not too far away, like in time wise. How do you prepare for one? Like, does it take you really long to prepare, or?
Well, actually, I'll help you with the timeline a little bit. I returned back to New York from the Lion King tour in 2013. I waited I didn't wait. Like, there was about a 6-month of a acclimation period. I started writing a show about Lena Horne during that time. And then at January of 2014, I got a call that I'll be going to audition for Motown the musical on Broadway, and I immediately jumped into that show. I actually learned that show in 3 days.
Oh wow!
That's
what I wanted to know. Like, how long does it take to get into character and just
typically
learn your
it should
part?
Take 4 weeks, but I learned it in 3 days.
My God.
Yes. And I was with that show for a while, and also while creating the show about Lena Horne. I debuted the Lena Horne show and for one night, and then I finished my run with Motown. Later that year, I went back on tour with the Lion King for a couple months.
Right.
To go and tag one of our Nalas out. She was going on a leave of absence, and maybe she was filming a movie. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, "Hey, girl, all right, let me go and fill in for you." And then right after I came back, I went to Pippin, and I was at Pippin for a few months, and that show closed, and I was hanging for a little while. So I'm in 2016 at this time. And then I auditioned for Hamilton, and I was at Hamilton for a year from 2016 to 2017.
Okay.
And then took a little break, couple months off. And then I started the project with Jesus Christ Superstar in 2018.
That's amazing. You're a busy woman.
I don't know how not to be. I mean, we got to make life fun. We have to make life fun.
You were Grammy nominated and Emmy winning cast of NBC's Live Jesus Christ Superstar alongside John Legend. How was that experience with that?
So I made this weird declaration after my experience at Hamilton, because I loved I had such great experiences in all the shows that I've been in, that I said, you know what? I looked around and I was at a really reflective moment. And I thought, I only want to do stuff with people I love and respect.
Right.
Like, this is so awesome. And I got a call to audition for Jesus Christ Superstar. And when I ended up getting the job, I knew that it was going to be with John Legend, but I didn't know that who was playing Judas was an actor named Brandon Victor Dixon.
Okay.
And Brandon Victor Dixon and I are very good friends because we worked together at Motown the Musical. He played Berry Gordy. And then when we worked at Hamilton together, he was playing Aaron Burr.
Oh my God.
To get surprised and say, oh my gosh, we're here working again. It was just incredible. And it made the project so wonderful. And our director, David Laveau, is amazing. John Legend is an incredible performer, an incredible leader.
Right.
And Sarah Bareilles is a kind soul, so amazingly talented, so professional. And every single person in the cast, in the ensemble, maybe some of the viewers didn't know that we had all at one point been a lead on Broadway.
That's incredible.
We had all played leading characters on Broadway, but we're backing up, we are backing up these mega stars who are recording artists, who are in film and TV. And I have to give a shout out to the ensemble of Jesus Christ Superstar, because again, we were Broadway's cream of the crop supporting these mega stars.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you really don't.
There's a part of that question, but I don't remember.
It was just the experience overall. The thing is that we as audience generally don't appreciate it as much, I think, just because we don't know as much about it. If I knew, for example, that every character there has had its lead role and on Broadway, you would just appreciate this whole thing so much more, right? Maybe they should do like a little guide sheet, that they hand you right before you go
like
in.
A playbill,
right?
Yeah, it's so funny because I wish that people knew, because we had gotten so much positive feedback from the airing. Right. That, we loved it. We loved it. You know why you loved it? Because every single person in there was giving 110%. Right. We were obsessed with each other. We loved that project. We wanted to do right by every single person that we were standing next to. So
that's amazing.
I think it's important to give some love and at least acknowledge the people who are supporting, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. On top of Broadway, you were also on NBC's Law and Order, SVU season 19.
Yes.
How do you compare acting for film with Broadway? Because obviously it's completely different, right?
Yeah.
So many people say it's two different worlds, like Broadway and acting. So how do you feel?
I think it's two members of the same family.
Right.
So Broadway is the action of doing it, the bigness, being able to reach the back of the house, right?
Right.
With film, the back of the house is right here.
Mm.
So you don't need to reach so far. So the things that are like you would physicalize in put into your body to convey a message, you can distill it down and really kind of hone your energy where it just comes in and allows the camera to do a lot of the work. And it's two members of the same family. You have the extrovert and then you have the introvert. And I feel like Broadway is the extroverted version and film and TV is the introverted member of your family.
So would you say it's easier to go from Broadway to acting rather than from acting to Broadway?
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
I definitely think that because you can always take away. It's harder to add.
Right. Yeah. And did you enjoy acting though? Was that something where you were like, oh, this is boring? I'm talking to a camera, or acting to a camera where normally I would have, 1,200 people or 1,600 people in the audience.
It's definitely a shift. It's definitely a shift. You know what? It's definitely a shift. The scene that I did with Mariska Hargitay, who is a queen, she's an incredible actress. She's an incredible producer. And so she makes you feel very comfortable. That was actually my first TV gig.
Oh, wow.
On Law and Order. And the joke in New York as a New York actor, so you're never really officially an actor in New York unless you've done Law and Order.
At least some part of it, right? Like somewhere in there.
Right. Like you're not official until you've done Law and Order, whether you were a victim, a dead person,
Right.
So, and thankfully for my legacy and my family, I was none of those. I played a school teacher who was the teacher of her son in the show. And I was asking her some controversial questions. So I was in the driver's seat. I was interrogating Lieutenant Benson.
Oh, I have a few friends that are like the hot dog stand guy, you have the guy in the street because he's like Arab looking. They'll make him put him there, and I'm like, guys, come on, you guys always get the same roles,
Yep.
Or he's a terrorist, or
that's so real.
So real.
That is so real. Yeah, and I think we're on our way to helping break some of those stereotypes. Yes, some of that stuff is going to be imitating real life, but at the same time, like, why couldn't an Arab person be a cop?
Exactly.
Why couldn't an Arab person be a detective? And that's, as a woman of color, as a Black woman, as a Chinese, Jamaican, Cuban, Puerto Rican,
Yeah, you'll
I'm
understand.
like, I'm out here rooting for my people, for everybody.
100%. On the 31st of July this year, you sang the national anthem, right?
Yeah.
At the Brooklyn Nets home game of the NBA season. Was that your first time doing a national anthem at a big game?
Oh, no. So when I was a dancer for the New York Knicks back in 2006, part of my audition, not everybody's, but part of my audition was I was asked to sing because they wanted to know that some of the dancers would be asked to sing the national anthem. And so, I said, absolutely, sure. And then I got my opportunity in 2006. I also danced at the same game. So it was an incredible experience. But then after that, I've performed the national anthem about 25 times.
Oh, wow.
For the Knicks, for the Brooklyn Nets, for the NHL, Rangers, and New York Islanders, tennis events, gymnastic events, other sporting events, soccer, and the like. So when the NBA asked me to submit a virtual national anthem, I thought, oh, this is some new stuff. This is some new.
Some new.
I'm going to do it. This is going to be real cool. So I submitted my video. And I actually didn't know that it was going to air the day that it aired. I thought they were going to be airing at a later time.
Well, something controversial happened, right? When one player decided to stand while everyone else, kneeled.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that moment? Because
as one, I did not know. Yeah, I didn't know. Like, see, here's how much I don't know. So your girl don't have cable, right? She ain't got cable.
No cable
right? She got
at all.
Netflix. No, she got Netflix. She got other stuff. But so I didn't know what was happening. I was in the kitchen. And my friend in Canada sent me a picture of her television. She says, girl, you on the television. Great job. You sound amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't know they were going to be airing it today. And then I'm on the couch continuing, it's fine. It happened. I didn't see it. It's fine. Maybe I'll get a video or something. And then I get a bunch of tags on Instagram from my friends, people who know me. They're like, yo, Sin, like you're on TMZ, you're on CNN, you're on ESPN, you're on Bleacher Report, you're on DL Hughley's, you're on Hollywood Unlocked, all these. I'm like, why? And I didn't realize that right in front of the screen, that is my big face, there's somebody standing. And I was shocked, right? So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I honestly believe that singing the national anthem was written with the intent that it was written to, I guess, commemorate a moment in American history where American soldiers were fighting the British and they didn't quit.
Right.
They didn't stop fighting. So that moment for me, when I get to sing the anthem and I get to be the messenger, is my intention is to never stop fighting.
Yeah.
Never stop fighting for the things that I believe in, for the community and the country that I serve. And so when I was at Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda did something great for us. He wrote about an American story that historically doesn't look anything like the people who are telling it. But what he gave us was permission to take that story on and share it through our lens. That's why Hamilton is so powerful. Because
100%.
we, the people, were able to shoot this story through us to the audience. And so when I get the opportunity to sing the anthem, I'm not just singing some lyrics. I'm not just singing some songs.
Right.
I am internalizing the lyric as if it were for me and my people who decide to never stop fighting. So whether you choose to kneel or not kneel, it's your choice.
Right.
The main point is, what is your stance, and are you choosing to never stop fighting?
Fighting. I like how you put that. I really like it. At the end of the day, you can't control people. People do stuff, but it's the message that, you need to be aware of what you're spreading with that, or what you're saying with that, But
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that you think this way, and it's amazing. And I wish more people thought that way, because unfortunately not everyone thinks that way,
I'm unconventional. I'm Chinese, Jamaican, Cuban, working on Broadway. I'm some different. I'm something
You
different.
are made of a different cloth, 100%. Oh my God. You started at a young age. What are some rules you lived by to achieve your goals?
So, there's a Bob Marley song, "Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be all right."
Yes.
Yeah. So my
Beautiful
father,
voice.
he's now on top of, thank you. So on top of being Chinese Jamaican, my father's a Chinese Rastafarian. He follows the philosophies of he's adopted some of those traditions into his own life. And so I've definitely been fortunate to observe levity and a quality of joy and passion through my family's eyes. And so I try to just create things that make me happy and then and fill me up with joy. And I think it's a big contribution to my joyfulness and my upbringing. My father never said to me that anything was a bad idea.
Oh, that's nice.
If I said, "Dad, I want to walk on the moon," he said, "A good idea, Dad."
I like that. He was very supportive, right?
I 100% encourage that. That's why I tell my students all the time, I'm like, you guys, you got to figure it out for yourself first, and then find people who will support you on your dream and help you move it forward. My godmother is a 100% cheerleader.
Wow.
So I step out the house every day and I know that my family's like rooting for me. My friends are rooting for me. Yeah, you need that so you can help root for yourself.
100%. If you don't have the support from your family and from yourself, like you need the full package. It's a package.
Yeah, I say so.
All right, are you ready to play a little game?
Let's go.
I'm gonna ask you questions, and I want the first thing on your mind. Okay. Just say it, okay? Let's go. What is your favorite dish? It's supposed to be fast.
Oh, sorry. Jamaican patty. A Jamaican patty.
Okay, Jamaican patty. Favorite vacation destination?
Jamaica. And Greece.
Jamaica. And Greece. All right, I'll give you that. Favorite place to live?
Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, New York.
Hey, one.
Okay.
Miami.
Okay.
Is it Miami?
It'll be Miami. Sure.
Okay. Favorite
New York is the greatest
hobby?
city in the world. Okay.
Favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby, bowling.
Bowling?
Yeah.
I didn't think that. I wouldn't think you look like it.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I didn't say I was good. I said I like doing it.
Right? Favorite way to relax?
Vibe with friends. Like
Just
chill vibe at home with friends. Yeah. Good music. And just holding a vibe.
I like that. Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm quarantine brain. Friday?
Friday? I like that. Favorite place to work and be creative?
Favorite place to work? I like the recording studio.
I agree with
like the
that
recording.
one.
I like the environment of a recording studio. Yeah.
And the zone you're in, right? You enter
The
a
zone
new
you're
world.
in. Yeah, you enter a new world. You know, I miss that, and I don't get into the recording studio to write music enough. But
Right.
I love it. I love it.
And last one, what's your favorite quote?
The pie is big enough for anyone who wants a slice. You just have to determine how hungry you are.
Woo! I like that. You got it. Syndee, you got it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. This is such an amazing interview. Honestly, it was a pleasure having you on Uncut with us, Swan. And I can't wait to see you perform live one time, hopefully soon. And, you know, just be there. Whether it's Broadway,
Thank you.
whether it's internationally, you let me know. I'm going to be there.
Thank you.
And I'll show up with another 30 people that
I appreciate you. Can you offset? You need to offset.
Yeah.
My numbers are looking janky right about now.
Don't worry, we got you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You gotta listen to some of that music that I have on Spotify, because
what's the latest song you got?
Right now I'm working on a new release of a song called Warrior. It's kind of an anthem, pop style. And I have a bunch of music on iTunes. My album Lessons from a Lady is a jazz vocal record, but then I also have like reggae inspired music, because that's just more me. I'm kind of a Tasmanian.
That's something I want everyone to check out. Definitely. We're going to leave your social handles in the description so people can check it out. I'm going to check it out. You're going to get my feedback personally for sure.
I love it.
I love your voice. Can you give us a little bit like a goodbye song? Just a little bit, because your voice is just so angelic.
I really can't stay. Oh, look, I got backup music was my alarm.
Right?
Right in key, too. Right in key. That's fierce. I really can't stay. I've gotta go away. This really has been so very nice.
Oh
my mother will start to worry. My father will be pacing the floor. I really can't stay. But baby, it's cold outside.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Winters, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. Guys, thank you for watching. If you're listening to the audio version only, make sure you check out the visual. She's beautiful, such full of energy, such a charismatic person. Thank you so much for being on the show. Stay tuned. We have a few new episodes coming out. And once again, you're on Uncut with S1. Goodbye.